promoting a healthy environment. It's the air we breathe. Clean, safe water. Responsible management of our natural resources to protect and restore for a sustainable future. Environment matters.
We can usually get a couple truckloads out January, February, because people, of course, they'll upgrade for Christmas.
You've got the latest technology, but what to do with all that old stuff? The challenges and the opportunities of electronics recycling. Plus,
it's giving back to the earth. I think it's great.
Old trees are getting a new life in West Virginia's lakes. It's good for the environment and the state's economy. Hello everyone, and welcome to Environment Matters. I'm Kathy Cosco with the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection. If you're like most of us, you or someone in your home probably got a new piece of consumer electronics this past holiday season. But with that shiny new phone, computer, or flat screen TV comes the problem of what to do with the old one. And it's a problem that's getting bigger. Sales of electronic devices have more than doubled in the last 10 years, with mobile devices leading the way.
We're such a user society. I mean, with the cell phones, it seems like every 6 months kids are throwing out their cell phones, getting new cell phones, computers, have a short shelf life. Now your TVs, in the past you had a lot of TVs that would have people keep them 15, 20 years. But now a 3 to 5 year lifespan is about all there is on TVs. So the electronics is changing continuously. Your games that the kids play, the things that you use in everyday things, from banking to the lawyers to hospitals to schools, it's all advancing so much that there's going to be a lot more electronic waste than we have today.
Goodwill Industries partners with Dell Computers to recycle old computers and related electronics. For them, the holiday season is a busy time of year.
We usually see a pickup for people who are upgrading. January is a relatively busy month. We can usually get a couple truckloads out January, February, because people, of course, they'll upgrade for Christmas. So we'll get some older model laptops. We'll get some older model flat panels. The folks who still have a few of the CRT monitors laying around, we'll get a few more of those. So yeah, now's a pretty good time for us.
But for trash haulers and landfill operators, what to do with all those unwanted electronics becomes more of a challenge, and that's where specialized electronics recyclers come in.
It can become fairly difficult to find that kind of a recycler, if you will. And as time goes on, more people kind of join in the business, and I think there's going to be more outlets on its way. It just takes time to develop the market. It costs money to recycle this stuff, and you can't last very long if you don't have some kind of a source of income and you don't have a market to get rid of your stuff you're recycling. So it makes it really, really tough. And what makes it hard is like landfills are required to take this stuff, and they have to store it on site, and then they do get contracts with recyclers. The recyclers will come and haul the stuff off, but it's a fairly complex, if you will, system that has to happen so the stuff gets disposed of safely.
But all that stuff is finding its way into some interesting new uses.
We make plastics into a polyvinyl lumber. We take the unleaded glass, and we can add that with natural stone, make marble floor tile, base, chair rail, and crown molding. The leaded glass, we can grind that up and add it to add some stuff to it. We can make it an aggregate for cement, where the concrete will not leach into the lead would not leach into the soils. And we've just patented in a way to take the rare earth minerals out between the LCD panels and how to remove that. So we are both recycling and upcycling electronic products.
Electronics aren't the only things getting recycled after the holiday season. The DEP's Sarah Alford joins us now with a solution to what to do with that dried out used Christmas tree.
That's right, Kathy. Keeping these trees out of the landfill is the main goal of the DEP's annual Christmas tree recycling event. But what can you do with an old tree? The answer is simple. You sink it. This pile of trees is not headed for the wood chipper. Instead, these trees are going for a boat ride. A joint program between the DEP, the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is improving fish habitat in lakes all around the state.
A lot of the trees were removed when they constructed these reservoirs early on. It was thought that they would provide more flood storage and not impact boaters, but in the reservoirs that were later constructed, the DNR asked that they leave some of the standing timber. And these Christmas trees, recycled Christmas trees, can be used as kind of a substitute for the leaving of the natural standing timber.
This is the 9th year for the DEP's Christmas tree recycling program.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. It's much better than just throwing it on a curb and it ending up in a trash heap somewhere. And it rejuvenates the lakes for the fish and wildlife, and it's giving back to the earth. I think it's great.
Christy Morris is just one of dozens of people stopping by Charleston's Capitol Market on a recent chilly Saturday to drop off their used Christmas tree. Last year, the program provided more than 500 trees for fish habitat. Organizers say that number is expected to grow this year.
They take and they put them in bundles, and they'll replace the ones from last year, decomposed, and so when they stock the fish, which put it in layman's terms with smaller fish, they got to have a place to breed, hide, and feed. And so it produces quality stock, and the anglers and the fishermen all over the state of West Virginia, from their feedback, it's been very successful.
And catching fish also means catching tourism dollars. West Virginia has some of the best sport fishing waters in the eastern United States, and the word is getting around. More than a quarter of anglers fishing our rivers, lakes, and streams are actually visitors from out of state, an economic boost to West Virginia that, every year, adds up to millions of dollars. Kathy, the project typically gathers enough trees to improve the fish habitat in about half a dozen lakes around the state. In Charleston, I'm Sarah Alford for Environment Matters.
Thanks, Sarah. The program is a joint project between the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection, the Division of Natural Resources, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It's that time again. Time for your group or volunteer organization to sign up for this year's statewide Make It Shine Spring Cleanup. Volunteers can register with the DEP through March 1st to participate in the cleanups which take place during the first 2 weeks of April. The DEP provides cleanup materials like trash bags and gloves and takes care of waste hauling and landfill fees. During last year's spring cleanup, more than 4,800 volunteers removed roughly 220 tons of litter and debris from the state's public lands and waters. To find out more, call us at 800-322-5530 or check out the REAP section of our website, dep.wv.gov. Coming up, you plant a seed, you water and nurture it, and before you know it, a tree grows. And that's the thinking behind a series of mini grants. Why local communities are lining up for a chance to plant that seed. That's just ahead. Plus,
I'm Greg Adolphson in Williamson, where they're taking a community approach to sustainability. Those stories and more when Environment Matters continues.